Red wasp. Take your head off, swallow the red wasp in your head, creases. And,
I was sitting in my chair last night and was talking to Holly, and all of a sudden a great big red wasp crawled up on the chair. And just, I mean, my arm was right there, and I went, whoa. I guess I was sitting there eating a sandwich. I'm recording something like a wasp. Do you delete that stuff? Is that for posterity? Good morning. I'm Brian Wilson, Burnett County Judge. The time is now 10:30. We're going to start our Burnett County workshop. It's technically a budget workshop, but left the word budget out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and begin with a review. I guess we've already done the review of the 2020 FY26 budget. Well, I was going to talk about go ahead and call agenda item number 1, review and discuss the FY26 budget process and the FY26 proposed budget and tax calendar.
We say the date.
Thank you. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025.
and Judge, you might, for the record, make note that we're in the second floor courtroom.
Yes, and we are in the second floor courtroom because the jury trial got canceled, and so we moved up to the larger room. And we posted signs downstairs as appropriate. Okay, so agenda item number 1 is flow chart. As we were working through with the county auditor, I just wanted to for you to see that we're starting with the FY25 budget. We've been opening up to requests from all the departments and elected officials. Then we'll go through a consideration process as we're beginning to put this together. And then finally, we'll come up with a FY26 proposed budget that will be posted to the public along with the tax rate when it's appropriate. July 25th is the date that it's scheduled for the chief appraiser to provide us the estimated tax revenue. So all this is flowing into a direct process. There's no action on this. I just wanted to kind of make sure everybody had the conceptual idea of moving from just opening the process up for elected officials and without any promises, but making sure we understand that elected officials and departments are able to ask for what they need to appropriately serve the Burnett County, Texas. So any comments or questions on that issue? Make sense? Okay. All right. I'm going to break this up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Earlier. Sorry. Review, I call agenda item number 2, review and discuss FY26 budget proposals regarding the following departments and agencies. The County Attorney's Office, I'll go ahead and do one at a time. And then, and I will say, the Chief Public Defender was called away to a trial hearing today in Llano County. She's on her way back, and she'll be here shortly, so we'll take these others in order, and I think we have, we'll work through the rest of it when we find out more. Good morning.
Good morning.
Colleen Davis, I'm the first assistant county attorney. Mr. Arredondo gives his apologies. He had a pre-scheduled obligation that he was unable to cancel to be here to present our budget today. Just to give some background to our budget, he asked me to talk a little bit about the county attorney's office, who we are and what we do. I don't intend to belabor the point, but you all have a packet that we prepared for you. So we have 10 people in our office. We have 5 attorneys and 5 staff members, and we handle a number of different issues. I don't think very many people know everything that the county attorney's office does. We joke that you have to be Gumby to work in the county attorney's office. There are some statutory duties of the county attorney. Those are covered in the Texas Constitution and in the Code of Criminal Procedure. Our major mandate is to see that justice is done, and so that covers every area in which we work. There's also some things in the government code about giving advice to a county or precinct official if we receive a written request. We're also able to do some things voluntarily, which our office does. Just a brief overview of what we do. We cover adult misdemeanors. Those are crimes that are a Class A or a Class B, and those are filed in the county court at law. We handle juvenile misdemeanors and felonies. We handle Department of Family and Protective Services cases. Those would be CPS and Adult Protective Services. We represent individuals who are applying for protective orders. We appear in Justice of the Peace courts, all 4 of them. Those are Class C tickets, truancy cases. There are some property hearings. The JPs will tell you, you never know what's going to come up in JP court, so you have to be ready to do just about anything. We do mental health commitments. We did one of those just last week. We will request opinions from the Attorney General's office for the county. We handle our own appeals. We advise Commissioners Court and other elected officials. We have done TPOL, which is law enforcement related employment termination hearings. We have represented the county before the Texas Workforce Commission and the EEOC. We help with emergency services. We have done cases for communicable diseases and health commitments. So for example, if someone is diagnosed with tuberculosis, we can have them sent to a hospital so that they don't cause an infection in our county. We have done that in the past couple of years. We also appear as an attorney pro tem in a number of different courts, helping out other prosecutors. A few years ago, they changed the law where if a prosecutor has a conflict, you can't just get any attorney to handle those cases. It does have to be another prosecutor to handle them. So we help the district attorney's office and other local counties throughout the year. When it comes to misdemeanors, last year we filed over 800 cases and we disposed of over 1,700 cases. This year we are well on the way to match that. We filed over 350 cases and we disposed of over 700. For juveniles last year we handled 96 individual juveniles, and this year we're well on the way to exceed that. We've handled 73. CPS, last year we handled 23 cases. This year's a little bit slower. We're very lucky. There have only been 5 CPS cases this year. Protective orders, last year we did 61, and this year we've already done 23. That was through the end of June.
Can I ask one question real quick?
Of course.
On the child protectors, that's just removals?
Those are just removals.
Okay,
those are
thank
not court-ordered services or advising the department, which we also do. We've done more protective orders since June. Any holiday leads to an increase in protective order cases, but these numbers are just through June. So we're approaching 30 now, I believe. Advising county departments, we talk about contracts, we help with open records, the Open Meetings Act. We're here in Commissioners Court with y'all. We meet with Herb and all of y'all about subdivision issues. We will work with Shirley and Shelley in human resources and on those issues. We've helped with some internal investigations and some real estate issues. Justice of the Peace, I kind of talked about that. We are the only state that allows for jury trials for Class C tickets. So in Texas, you can go to a jury over your speeding ticket. It's actually a lot of fun. I love doing JP court trials, but we're kind of busy, so that takes away a lot of time. Mental health. Mental health is a big issue these days. It's very important. Our county is struggling helping people with mental health issues. We work very closely with Bluebonnet Community Services. We have done orders for protective custody. We've done emergency detention hearings. We work to divert people out of our jail because jail is not the best place for people with mental health issues. We do court-ordered outpatient and inpatient mental health services, court-ordered medications. We work on competency issues. Most of those are handled in either the probate court or the county court at law. And I personally serve as a member of the Judicial Commission on Mental Health, just to try and keep us up to date on what's going on. Our office is also very involved in our community. We host local students every year as interns. We work to help with Adoption Day. We meet with the Marble Falls Rotary students for Career Day. We do an annual presentation at our local schools about juvenile criminal issues and basically telling kids not to make stupid mistakes. And we often present to community groups about who we are and what we do and different issues that we deal with. Our attorneys serve on various nonprofit boards, including the Hill Country Children's Advocacy Center, CASA for the Highland Lakes, Burnett County Santa's Helpers, the Friends of the Herman Brown Free Library, the Judicial Commission on Mental Health, the Hill Country Bar Association, Rotary, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, school-related organizations, and team. Those are prior, some of those are current, but over the years we've been very involved. We also do a lot with training and education. Obviously, we're required to keep up with our continuing legal education. We have to do a minimum of 15 hours a year, and 3 hours of those have to be for ethics. And our office is actually seen as a leader in prosecutors. We do a lot of teaching at these trainings. So in the past 3 years, we have taught at the TDCAA, that's the Texas District and County Attorneys Association annual conference. We've also spoken at the Elected Prosecutor Conference. I served as a faculty member for the Justice Court Training Center. We've spoken at the Judicial Commission on Mental Health Annual Conference, the Texas Association of Counties Conferences, the Texas Children's Commission Conference, the Texas Bar Association Advanced Child Protection Conference. Biannually, we bring in presenters to do DWI training for free for all of our local law enforcement and prosecutors, and that's a regional event, not just our county. We have worked with the CPS state office while they're working with the federal monitor, because there are some federal lawsuits related to CPS in the state of Texas. We have testified before the state legislature on a number of different issues, and we often serve as a resource for surrounding counties. We're very fortunate in Burnett County that there are 5 of us. Most of our local counties only have a couple prosecutors, and so we do our best to be helpful. So that's just a brief overview of some of the things that we do in our office. That would kind of give you some background to our requesting some of our budget issues. Are there any questions I can answer about our office? I know I talk fast. I know that was a lot, but you'll have a copy of it.
It's very thorough. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're not asking for many changes this year. We're asking for a little bit more money in our operating supplies budget because our computers are getting older and we think we're going to need to replace some of our computers this year, and then we'll need to replace some more next year. We're also asking for just a slight increase in our conference fees so that we can continue to attend trainings. We've been very fortunate that when we teach, a lot of our costs are covered by those organizations, but that's never a guarantee, and we want to make sure that we can all stay up to date on our training. And then we are asking to change the salary classification of 2 of our employees. We're asking to increase the first assistant position and the executive director position, just to keep those consistent and in parity with the district attorney's office and the public defender's office. And then we are asking for an increase in the county attorney salary. I know that on Thursday you'll be discussing the increases passed by the legislature for the district judges, which impacts the district attorneys, which impacts the public defender, and in fact impacts the county court at law judge. And so just keeping the county attorney position in line with some of those other positions. And we've presented that to you by email through the forms. We also provided you with some of our goals and our achievements for the past year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions about county attorney budget or to the county attorney staff? No? Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Colleen. So back to agenda item number 2, review and discuss FY26 budget proposals regarding the following departments and agencies. I call item number B, 33rd and 424th District Attorney's Office, District Distribution, and the statutory requirements and supplements. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Perry Thomas. I'm your district attorney for the 33rd, 424th Judicial District, which includes Burnett, Blanco, Llano, San Saba counties. I'm in a unique position because I serve 4 counties, and so my budget is made up on a percentage basis of the 4 counties. The population determines what percentage each county pays into my budget. And so, for example, the numbers that I think you have before you are what Burnett County would be responsible for in the budget requests that we've made. And just for a reference point, Burnett County is responsible for, we believe it's going to be about 56.66% of the district attorney's office budget will come from Burnett County. The Office of District Attorney is responsible for prosecuting felony criminal cases in the 4-county area. We prosecute any crime, only drug or theft cases, all the way up to capital murder offenses. The big caseload that we have right now that we're battling, and I'll give you a number here in just a minute, are crimes committed against children, where children have been victims of crime. That's our big burden right now that we're really fighting against. We prosecute all criminal cases that come before our 2 district judges in any of the 4 counties. And we travel to wherever those 2 judges are at, but we have a team of prosecutors that will appear in front of those judges and handle all those criminal cases in front of them. For this year, I'll back up. Last year, the outgoing district attorney allowed me to present the budget to this court. And I did not ask for any increase in the budget. We came in with the same numbers that had been in existence the year before that. The reason why I didn't ask for anything is I wanted to get into the office and get a feel for how things are working. What do we really need before I start asking for money? Well, I've had now over 6 months in the office to be able to see what's happening, see where our needs are. And there are a number of needs that we have, but the 2 greatest, and when I say 2, it's really 1 request, is for additional attorneys in the district attorney's office. I've asked for 2 additional lawyers to service our 4-county area. This year alone, we have indicted, now this is just only through May, I don't have June and July's numbers yet, but we've indicted 463 felony criminal cases. That does not include counts. A case may have multiple counts or multiple charges within it. This is just 463 individual cases through the end of May. We've disposed of 853 cases, so we're doing a good job about clearing out a backlog of cases and trying to whittle that down. Yes, sir.
Do you mind if, just real quick, because I want to make sure that we're all following you or tracking what you're presenting.
Yeah.
So you're a 4-county jurisdiction. Are these numbers for all 4 counties?
It is.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
sir.
what, I
It
just
is.
want to make sure we understand.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We currently have active 308 crimes committed against children. That's 308 felony criminal offenses where a child has been either the victim of sexual abuse or physical abuse. And most of those, I'm going to tell you, are sexual abuse cases, unfortunately. It is quite a workload. It's over 50 cases per lawyer in our office. And so you can imagine the stress of having to deal with crimes where a child is your victim. You know, you have just small children, little boys and girls that we're trying to develop a relationship with, to prepare them for a time where they're going to have to sit in a witness stand in a courtroom full of adults and talk about the horrible things that happen in life. The average caseload for a prosecutor in our office is approximately 300 felony cases. I looked around to see what maybe the averages are around the country. I found one stat that said the average caseload for a prosecutor nationwide was about 94 cases per prosecutor. We're handling 300. American Bar Association has tried to come up with some rough numbers over the years. They say a prosecutor should have about 150 cases as an appropriate number. We're at 300. So the main request I come before this court for is for 2 additional attorneys to help meet this caseload. To just give you an idea of what a week looks like for the district attorney's office, I'll give you last week, for example. We had 6 criminal dockets that occurred in 3 different counties. 6 times a judge was on the bench with multiple defendants there, hearing cases on a variety of issues. 6 times in 3 different counties. We also had 3 meetings of 3 different grand juries last week in 3 different counties. That resulted in it was a little over 70 new felony criminal cases were indicted last week. 3 of those cases have a fatality, or a deceased individual is in those cases. So you know what we're looking at with those type of cases. All that went on while a 4.5-day jury trial took place that was being prosecuted against a person that was accused of continuous sexual abuse of a child. And that person was found guilty and was given life without parole. So that's the week in the district attorney's office on some of the most serious crimes that we can deal with. So I'm asking for some help with lawyers. The other area that I'm asking for an increase is the executive director's position. She does so much in her office. She's literally the jack of all trades, that I'm asking for an increase in pay to make her comparable with the court coordinators. I think the executive director in the county attorney's office is seeking the same amount of money there. Are slight increases in maintenance and travel costs. That's because we serve 4 counties. We're always on the road with vehicles going to various courts, so that's to cover expenses in gas, expenses for tires, oil changes. For about 2 months ago, one of our vehicles was involved in a hit and run incident. It was parked outside of our office, and one of the vehicles was hit, and the person, I don't know if it was an accident or they saw it was a district attorney's office vehicle, took a good shot at it. So we had costs related to the repairing that. Those are the increases that we're asking for. There is we are also asking for 6 new computers in our office. The district attorney's office has never been on the rotation with IT to get new computers. We've never been part of their budget. So when a computer gets paid 5 years or older, I think according to Burnett County's policy on computers, they need to be replaced. Well, we have 6 that fall into that now. So we're asking for 6 new computers. There's one position that we're asking to be reclassified. It's basically a name change. It would require no additional money, but it's just a name change, and it's currently listed as an administrative assistant's position. But really what she is our victims assistance coordinator. And we need the name change just to make sure we're in compliance with SB 22. The state comptroller has not said anything to us about that, but we'd rather just change the name, make it official so they won't question us in the future about that. The other area that we're having issues with is we're out of space. By law, we have to have a victim's waiting room for court, for trials. We took our victim's waiting room and turned it into an office for a lawyer, and took our conference room, which also served as a jury deliberation room, and you turn that into our victim's waiting room for court. There's no room to put anyone else in the future. I am asking for an increase in staff, but, I guess we're going to double up office space in the future at the position we're currently in. When we have a trial, we're having to put witnesses in the lawyers' offices. So you know how uncomfortable that is for a lawyer. You're trying to prepare for court. You're thinking you're having a confidential conversation on the phone, but there's some strangers sitting in your office waiting to testify. That's where we're at for space concerns. And we even have a lawyer and her administrative assistant housed back where the judges are. That's more of a secured space for district judges, but they were gracious enough to let them have one office to share. And up until recently, they were even sharing a phone back there. But if there's a jury trial taking place and those judges are on the bench trying a case, we can't go back there and talk to them because they're locked up. It's inappropriate for all of us to be back where a jury is coming and going in trial. And so that we're just sticking folks in various places. So I put that on the court's radar that we need additional space. And the last thing is I'm going to come back to this court before the beginning of the fiscal year and ask for reclassification of my investigators to exempt employees. They work late at night many times. They're subject to call out to crime scenes in the middle of the night. So rather than paying them overtime, rather just go to exempt employees so that it'll save the county money. We won't have to increase our overtime budget to do that. And so I will come back to this court in the very near future and ask for them to be reclassified so that they will not.
So that's not included?
That is not included, no.
11.87%
That's not.
increase.
So,
Would
those
that
are
include a reclass to different pay grade also?
It would not.
Or just moving them to exempt?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
That's correct. That's it. So that's the request from the district attorney's office. Of course, I'm always available for questions. Anybody have office doors always open? Yes, sir.
I do have a question. Since obviously this is a district office, when you add an employee, just because you all are housed on our books, how does that work with the other counties?
They're responsible for salary and their portion of benefits as well. And so it's paid in. Those counties pay Burnett County, and then Burnett County writes the check.
I understand that, but I'm talking about when you add a new employee, you have to have buy-in, I'm assuming, from these other counties. If we say, sure, you get a new attorney, but then
That's correct.
Blanco Orlando County says, no, we're not
I see
going to
what
play.
you're saying.
So,
Yes, sir. I understand that. I know that one of the counties I've spoken to, they've told me we're going to go with whatever Burnett suggests. The other two, try to reach out. Try to reach out and set up a meeting with those two judges. And I think it was a day or two before all the rains came. And so we have sent out our proposed budget to them so they know what we've asked for. But because of recent events, I've not gotten word back on what their feelings are. Commissioner. Did that answer your question?
yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm in the process of reaching out to them to get their input before we do anything. But we wanted to hear in this workshop what the request was.
Yes, sir.
Just one question on so on the investigator reclass. In other words, you'll be suggesting that maybe for this fiscal year. That's why you said you'll be bringing it back at a later time.
That's
Is that
correct.
Okay,
That's
just
correct.
making sure I understood
Yeah.
what you were saying. Any other questions?
Nope.
Thank you. Let's just talk about the caseload standards. So the ABA does have a published standard. I know years ago I was working with them to do some weighted caseload in defense, and they were looking at doing some with prosecutors. And so did they come up with a formal?
I have seen it both ways out of them. I've seen them say, we really can't come up with a number. Then I've seen other reports published by them that say about 150 is what we would think is appropriate.
And that's
And I've seen
kind of where, and just to make sure everybody's on the same page with that 150. 150 is not 150 new cases all the time. It is an ongoing caseload of 150, because I think that gets lost sometimes, commissioners, when you're talking about the management and the duties and the obligations of an attorney to ensure justice is done, because that's your oath and that's your
correct.
That's your statutory standard,
That's
correct?
correct.
That justice is done.
Yes, sir.
And so under that standard, a caseload of active cases of 300 is 2 times the at least recognized ability of the standard of justice being done. So that means time has to be spent. Now, one other question that I have is, in the distribution of your attorneys, we're talking about space.
Yes.
You have four jurisdictions. Are some of these attorneys housed in other counties?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you tell us just a little bit about
Currently-
how you organize across the 4 counties?
What I have done since I took office is I assigned 3 trial lawyers for each court. And they would follow wherever that judge goes, those 3 lawyers follow that judge. I really right now have them housed wherever I have space. I'm full in Burnett County. I have space for 3 attorneys and have 3 lawyers in the Llano office. I have 3 investigators in the Llano office, 3 administrative assistants in the Llano office. So and for Burnett, I have 1 investigator housed here, I think 3 administrative assistants and the victim's assistant coordinator housed here. Really, that's based on space,
Not need. It's not on need. It's just about where you have space.
It's a combination of where I've got space, but then I'm also trying to keep lawyers that are assigned to one particular judge, since they work as a team really, since they're always working for that one judge, try to keep them in one location.
Okay.
And keep the other team in that location, so they're all together working as a team. Now, there is a recruitment issue, and when we have openings, we're in a competitive market for lawyers right now. There's a shortage of the lawyers around the state. Now, many people think that's a good thing. I got it. But Texas is a growing state. Thousands of people are moving here every day, and that means there's more and more demand for lawyers. The value of the salaries for lawyers going up. So we're trying to recruit good attorneys. And one of the recruitment tools we use is you can live in Burnett County, or you can live in Cedar Park, Leander, those areas, and come to Burnett to work. Right now, I don't have a place to put you. If you want to live there and work in Burnett, I don't have a spot to put you in. And so that's something one of the recruitment tools would be, I can house you in my Burnett office and you can live wherever you like then. So.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank y'all. Appreciate you.
Okay, going back to the agenda, I call agenda item number 2, review and discuss FY26 budget proposals regarding the following departments and agencies: Public Defender's Office, Regional Distribution, and State Funding. Good morning.
Good morning. So I feel like I've covered what we do, but I'll do it very briefly because y'all seem to hear it from me every time I come in front of you. So let me just say that. So we have 2 offices, just so y'all know. We have 1 office in Llano, and then we have the other office, which is broken into 2 right now. Thank you very much for giving us extra space in Burnett. So typically, as a rule, my attorneys and my support staff, which includes a social worker out at Llano, they cover the Llano and the Blanco courts. I was late today because I had to go to Llano because I'm filling in because we're short an attorney out that way. So we just try to cover all of those areas. We're not, we remain funded by the state at 66% under the grant, which means that a third of that then is funded by y'all, which is split up between y'all, who are the majority of cases, Burnett, and then we've got Llano, which is the second highest, and then we've got Blanco, which is the third one. We do not cover San Saba like Perry covers San Saba. So and I'll go to what he said last, which is we are always in a struggle to get attorneys, and we remain consistently seeking attorneys, so we have to remain competitive. So that's one of the discussions I have with Perry all the time. How do we get this competitive? How do we get out there and recruit people? So it is very difficult. So I'm kind of tailgating on Perry's last statement there, just so you all know. So I've got we're not really asking for any new spots this year. I am asking that y'all be mindful of pay parity. I know that Perry did get a raise through the legislature, and so Eddie and I are supposed to be on pay parity with him, so I would ask that y'all be mindful of that. It does help with recruiting and things like that. Our cost increases appear to be mainly in travel and in training dues, just so that's where we've got some increases. And we are asking for a repositioning of the executive director spot, as well as the lead mental health caseworker spot. So right now those positions are filled by Amber Greer as the executive director, and then Chris Sanders as the lead mental health person. And we're asking that those go from what's in our catalog as Group 66 up to Group 69, and I'd like to put them at the level 7 spot, which is where those two spots are now with Group 66. So that would take them up to a couple more dollars an hour. So, and just so y'all have an idea too, I've worked with the district attorney's office. We started working on this several months ago because I was concerned that these women were doing a lot of work that was not being recognized, and they weren't being reimbursed for. So when we started looking at and working on those positions, all of these ladies were kind enough to go through and do a new job description for me, do the duties that they perform, and it did really look more in keeping with the court coordinator spot. And so that's the reason we're asking for the bump on that, so that they can go from the Group 66 to the Group 69. So that's the reason we're asking for these positions to be bumped up. So, and then other than that, I think there is some equipment. They have gone up on equipment, but I do want to mention this to you all. I don't think that it got brought up in regular Commissioners Court. I apologize for not being here, but it is our intent. There is some surplusage in the TIDC budget from this past year. And so my intent is to ask for new computers across the board. We were in rotation with IT, but we have a tendency to get overlooked on occasion. And so we've got to a spot where we really need the computers. And so they've got a surplusage. So it's my intent to put in a grant for that so that we can get all new computers, monitors, and just get up to date on those. So we'll be pursuing that. And IT's been working with us on a quote. So anyway, that's what I've got. Do y'all have any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You did at the last workshop.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Questions about the...
Go ahead and say your name.
Patty Cope, Burnett County taxpayer. The Evergreen Salary Survey, did that cover the DA and the Public Defender's Office? Because it seemed like it was kind of a hit or miss kind of a salary survey. That was never adopted formally by the court, but I'm wondering if these Do you know? Happen to know?
Well, the district attorney is a state official, and his salary is set by the legislature, so he wouldn't, I don't know about this Evergreen survey, but I'm just saying he's a state official, and the legislature sets his salary.
Yeah, I understand that. I think they're all underpaid personally because of the market. You can come here and get trained and go to Wilco and make 25% more, just like that. Do you know if the Evergreen salary survey included your department?
I don't believe it did.
Yeah, it was, I think maybe that's something that needs to be looked at because it was snuck into the court minutes under department updates, and it was never adopted by the court, and it was a very random, specific job, survey targeted for specific jobs, and I think it needs to be looked at and applied to this budget cycle if you're going to use it. I mean, it's already being used for some jobs and not for others, so.
Okay. Any other public comment? Okay. All right, thank you, Commissioners. Just want to go ahead and call agenda item number 3, review and discuss Burnett County vehicle policies and vehicle retirement mileage report. We spoke about some of the information a few weeks ago that, talking about in the beginning of our budget book, there's a budget policy that gives out vehicle mileage and information like that. So one of the things that under our policy is that overall the mileage is apparently we're staying far below the average vehicle retirement. So we don't have to make a decision, but if we're going to consider revising some of those policies for this next budget cycle, which we don't have to, but if we're going to, this is it's generally, like for the sheriff's office, I think it's 150,000 miles is when they retire a law enforcement vehicle. And I mentioned at the previous discussion that we found out that the inventory system does not reflect the kind of vehicle at the time of purchase or ongoing. So we're working with the county auditor to make sure that if we have a policy that their accounting system will keep up with that. But then just across the board, we have this report that the county auditor ran for us that shows that except for one really high mileage vehicle, if we look at our overall what do you call it, end of life vehicle is at 150. So that would include the sheriff's office vehicles and road and bridge and maintenance and all the others. So we'll need to dig in a little bit more to that if we're going to continue that policy. We also have to be on the other side, making sure that the policy is being held accountable. So that's really all. And I'll take any questions or any guidance for considering rewriting that policy or making modifications. So, Chief Trevino.
Chief Trevino, Burnett County. I just want to, for the record, reflect that while the cutoff is 150 for retiring vehicles for the sheriff's office, we have a significant amount of and that's considered pursuit vehicles. We have a significant amount of vehicles that are over the 150 that are still being used for pursuit vehicles, and then the non-pursuit for our, primarily for our courts is at the 175, and again, we are getting to a point now, once we get these new batches in, but the 150 is the cutoff, and it's obviously hard to speculate when some of those vehicles, we're talking 30,000 miles a year on most of them, pretty consistently, that are 150 from the sheriff's office standpoint. I know y'all are discussing other county fleet as a whole, but that the 150 remain for the sheriff's office.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Agenda item, or just the first part?
I'm just on the first part, on the average. Again, it's just informational, saying we have a policy that's supposed to, and on average, we're at the lower end of our policy. So some of those vehicles may have been supposed to get rid of at 175, but we're clearly getting rid of them earlier than, or at least it looks like we are. So anyway, then I'll call, get back to our agenda. There we go. Well, same item, I'm sorry. Now we're on the second part, the vehicle use and take-home policy. This issue, just want to, again, if we're going to adjust this policy, because it certainly is a cost driver for not only the number of vehicles that are being taken home, but the type of vehicles that are being taken home. So I just want to make sure that if we have some discussion, and I'll take public comment on this issue about whether we should be modifying our take-home policy or reaching out. I mean, I was reaching out to TAC to see if they had some samples. They've given me some different samples that other counties use. But anyway, any public comment?
Patty Hope again.
Add that to the budget, new benches.
Yeah. Item 706, third paragraph, says something about may be taxable income. So what I'm trying to figure out is when and who determines what is taxable income and what is not. Because I've been coming to Commissioners Court for a while, and I haven't heard any agenda items or motions about are these vehicles going to be taxable, are these vehicles not? So I'm just trying to clarify what that means. Who votes to decide if the vehicles are taxable or not?
Well, the vehicle is not taxable or not taxable. It's the person standing in the under law is where that determination, and the taxing is on the person. So if I take my vehicle home, if I have an assigned vehicle, the payroll department determines what my role is under law and then assesses the tax. Then I pay tax on. I pay withholding tax on that, the use of that vehicle.
So you're saying the payroll department in HR, which reports to you, determines for all of the county whose vehicle usage is taxable to them on their personal income taxes and whose is not?
Shirley, you have anything to help me on that? But my understanding is under law, police are on call 24/7.
First responders, yeah.
The payroll department would look at the use of that take-home vehicle.
Yeah,
and assess.
it's taxed.
Shirley Bullard.
Shirley Bullard, HR Director. Fringe benefits are taxed at the amount that's legislated that we have to tax. Vehicles that are equipped, like your trucks, your county trucks that have equipment on it, maybe a generator or fueling or something like that, they can be used 24/7, and they're not taxed to the individual. Just a general take-home vehicle, say Herb Darling, he's on call, but I mean, he's got the vehicle as part of his compensation package. He is taxed on the daily use of that vehicle going back and forth from home.
Okay, thank you.
That answer?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so to be clear, the vehicle in and of itself is not a taxable, tax-generating item. It is simply the position that the person holds. So, okay. Any guidance on any modifications that want to be considered or things that I should be doing research on to look at other counties, or any input on that? So appreciate it. Okay. I think that concludes our workshop, and thank you for your time. Meeting adjourned.